Hey, we've come to fifth sum. Oh my, time really flies, isn't it? Okay, but let's look at what's happening between Valerie and Davy. Well, they were 700 meters apart on the running track, and Davy started running away from Valerie. After 1.5 minutes, Valerie began to chase Davy, running 1.5 times as fast as Davy. Valerie overtook Davy after running 15 minutes. Alright? Draw a distance time graph and find Valerie's speed in kilometers per hour. Now this is a challenge sum, alright? Okay, I told you, foot loose. You got to loosen up, my dear. Cut loose. Relax. Read the information. Cut it to small bite sizes. Keep smiling, and maths will come to you. Let's see how to do this sum. Alright, what is the vital information that we have? They are first 700 kilometers apart. And then they were apart. Alright? And what happened to Davy? She started running away from Valerie. That means moving away. The very fact running away tells you that the distance is getting bigger. And after 1.5 minutes, who gave chase? Valerie gave chase. And what was Valerie's speed? She was running 1.5 times as fast as Davy. Okay? And Valerie overtook Davy after running 15 minutes. What if you have to draw? You have to draw a distance time graph. That's the first part. And you have to find Valerie's speed. And never mind, here, my dear, they gave you kilometers in hour. Here is meters and minutes. We'll change that later on, so don't get worried. Okay? If you got it right, yeah. If you got it wrong, don't worry. Perfect. You still tell yourself, there's nothing wrong in making mistakes when you check along with me, because you're growing and your maths is growing from strength to strength. Okay, trust me, you're with me. I still love you. Alright? We'll do sums together, and when you do well, please call me. We'll meet somewhere in town. I found this lovely place called Robert Tim's, you know. I was having breakfast with my students the other day because this boy was going away to Australia. And I said, all right, my dear Jonathan, he's flying off today. So just a few days ago, I said, all right, let's go for breakfast. And we had a lovely meal. Right, so let me tell you, I'll catch up with you if you do really well. Do call on me. Now, let's look at this sum. Move on. We've got a distance time graph. Distance, time. So this is the distance. And the distance is going to be in meters. The time is going to be in minutes. Very important. Start off there. And what happens? They were 700 meters apart. Okay? So this is where it is. 700 meters. Alright? And then after, okay, so what happened? This was where, who ran first? This is where Davy is. This is where Valerie is. Two people. Davy is here. And Davy ran. And she ran. Okay? When she was running. Let's look at it. I think I'm going to move this 700 meters a little bit nearer. Because it looks like I don't have time. I don't have space. Oops. Alright, let's go back again. I'm going to draw this again. And I said 700. You are here. 700 meters. And Davy is there. Davy. And she started running. Let's look at Davy. That's the speed at which she's running. She started running when she was 700 meters away from Valerie. Valerie said 1.5 minutes later. I take this point because this is T is 0. 1.5 minutes later, Valerie started running. So this 1.5, Valerie started running. And she overtook Davy after running for 15 minutes. So from here to here, her timing is 15 minutes she took. So what will this time be? Because we are drawing Valerie and Davy's distance time on the same graph. So you see for Valerie, the red Valerie, that's Valerie, and she started 1.5 minutes later, and she caught up with Davy after running for 15 minutes. So to run, look at this, my dear, distance, time. Distance, not speed. We are not talking about area under the graph. We are looking at distance, and they can only overtake if you cover the same distance. If somebody's running and you are running, you want to catch that person, I can only catch you if I travel the same distance. Alright? Otherwise, no. The person is going to be ahead of you. So same distance, then we can catch. So that's after 15 minutes. So you add another 15 here. So that's 16.5. Got it? Yeah. This is the most important part, my dear. But we don't know what is the distance gonna be. Okay? But we know that the speed, look at it, Valerie's speed is so 1.5 times faster than Davy's speed. So we can get speed, because how do you read it? The speed is actually the slope of this graph. Alright? This is Davy. Let me write it down. And that's Valerie. Valerie. Alright? And the slope is telling us the speed. Okay? So what is Davy's speed? Davy's speed, SD, speed of Davy, is equal. Let's look at this distance. Maybe they ran so much. What do you want to call that? We call it D. Alright? So Davy ran. Look at the distance covered by Davy. Okay? Okay? And you look at the speed. So if you look at this, this is D, and this is 700, the distance that they met from that point that you were measuring. You see, Valerie and Davy were 700 meters away. 700 meters away. And then Davy ran here. And Valerie also ran here. And that's when they catch up. Don't forget, Valerie has to cover that 700 meters too. You got it? Whereas Davy only covered this distance. So if you look at this, but when we put it in the time graph, distance graph, this whole thing is from 0 to D. That's the D. So Davy's distance is D minus the 700. You got that? And the time will be from here to here, which is 16.5 minutes. That's Davy's speed. Meters per minute. If I were to write it properly down, the measurements. Normally when you write an equation, you don't write all these measurements. But I just want to tell you about it. That's why I'm writing here, meters per minute. Okay? How about Valerie's? Valerie. Hey, Valerie. Her speed. Look at Valerie's speed. Her speed is from here, the distance. The distance that she covered is D. Alright? Look at the distance. If you're not talking about area under the graph. This is not a speed time graph. This is a distance time graph. And her distance is D. And her time is this time to cover D distance. So what is her time? Her time is 15 minutes. Got it? Great. Now what is the connection between, as I said to you, this is meters per minute, speed. Now Valerie's speed is 1.5 times of Davy's speed. Get that? And from there, you've got to put this information into formula. Valerie's speed, D over 15. Alright? Davy's speed, D minus 700 over 16.5. 16.5. Okay? Bring the 2 up, bring the 3 down. Okay, let's sort that out. So bring this up, you get 2D, and bring the 3 down. This is 45. You have D minus 700 divided by, this line is divided by 31. 32, right? 16 times 2 plus 1, 33 over 2. Now, my dear, there's a D here. We can solve easily. You got 45. And when you put D divide, look at that in bracket. Switch it over, you get 2 times 33, right? 2 times 33. Got it? Now, what do we do from there? We have to either, if I were you, look at that. Not very easy, isn't it? So we can bring all the 2's together because you see a 2 there. I see a 2 there. Can I teach you some shortcuts in doing it? All right, because this is like one number, they're all multiplied. One number, we divide by 2. All right, we get a D, and we divide by 2 here. We get a D minus 700, and this will be 1 over 33. And now I'm going to divide by 3 both sides. This will become a 15. This will become 11. I'm just teaching you the shortcuts of doing things so that it's a lot more easier. I divide it by 2 and I divide here by 2. I divide here by 3, I divide the bottom by 3. Same thing. Alright? So I've got D over 15. Here's 1 over 11 times this. I can bring my 11 up. I get 11D. And I bring my 15 up. 15 times D minus 700. So what I've got is a 15D minus 15 times 700, which I shall bring it over here. And then 11D will come here. And what I've got is a 4D. So I said, hey you, 15 times 11 is a 4D. So the D is going to be 15 times 700 divided by 4. Now, I allow you to use a calculator for this. So what do we get? Hey, 15 times 700, yeah, divided by 4. And we've got 2625. Wow! The total distance, look at that D, 2625 kilometers. Oh, not kilometers. Oh my God, they're not aeroplanes, they're people. Right? Always have a logic. Alright, when you write kilometers and you tell us, hey, what are you talking? What are you writing? Come on, open your eyes. Stop being careless. Right? So to be real. So the distance that the D that Valerie read was 2625 meters. Okay? So that's 2625. Ooh. Whereas Davy read 2625 minus 700. Now they want to find out what is Valerie's speed. How do you do Valerie's speed? Now Valerie's speed comes from here. I'd like to take your attention. Speed of Valerie. Look at that. Distance that she traveled was 2625 meters. Over how many minutes? 15 minutes. Right? So we can divide it by, and this will be meters per minute. But they want kilometers per hour. They said in the question, hey, kilometers per hour. So we're going to change this to, this is meters per minute. We want to change it to kilometers per hour. But first of all, shall we try? We can divide it by 3. Now, 2 plus 6, 8 plus 2, 10. 10 plus 5, 15. If the sum of digit is divisible by 3, ooh la la. Alright, can divide by 3. And the last number is 5. So this number 2625 can divide by 3, can divide by 5. That means you can divide by 15. And I just want to do a quick revision. 2625, dividing it by 15. Alright, you get 1 set. What is the remainder, my dear? 26 take away 15 is 11. 1, 1, 2. You get a 7. 7 times 15 is 105. Alright, so the remainder 112 take away 105 is 7. 75 divided by 15 is 5. Wow! So you get 175 meters per minute. Alright? From here, you're going to change it to kilometers per hour. Is that easy? You can do it, right? You're going to change the meters to kilometers and the minutes to hours. Okay? So how do we go about that? We said, hey you don't mind, I've got not enough space, so be tolerant of my space. I'm going to use a different color. All right, 175, I change it to kilometers, right? Kilometers. 1 minute, I change it to hours. I divide by 60. Look at that. So let's look at how we can simplify that. Okay, I want to take some space here. And we're going to say, all right, 175 over 1000 divided by 1 over 60. When you turn divide, 60 goes up, 1 goes down. Right, my dear? Divided, this line is divided by 1 over 60. So when you turn it to times, this is what happens. Cancel this off. Divide it by 2. This is 3. This is 50. Right? Divide it by 2. Divide it by 25. You got 2 25s here. Here in 100 there are 4 25s. In 175 there are 7 25s. So you get 7 times 3 over 2. 21 over 2 is 10.5 kilometers per hour. Ooh la la, we've got it. So that's the speed of Valerie in kilometers per hour. Got it, my dear. Okay, now first of all, do not panic about the speed in kilometers per hour. Just get it in meters per minute and then move it on to kilometers per hour. Alright, it's just a simple conversion. Change your meters to kilometers, you divide by 1000. Change 1 minute to hour, you divide by 60. As simple as that. This line means divide. 175 over 1000 divided by 1 over 60. When you have divided by 1 over 60, change it to times, it becomes 60 over 1. And that's your answer. Beautiful. What is the learning point of this sum? There are plenty. Alright, one sum like this is worth doing, really looking at it, understanding it, thinking back about it. There's so much of, what shall I say, thinking skills that go into it. So simple, yet so challenging. But as I said to you, Mrs.Kumar is made easy as ABC. How does it become easy? You cut the chop the sum into sizes that is chewable. Now, first of all, you said, hey, you're 700 meters away. And Debbie ran away from Valerie. Valerie, 1.5 minutes later, she says, I'm not going to let Debbie run away from me. She ran. And of course, you can only catch up if you're running faster. If you're running slower, you're all the time behind. So she went 1.5 times as fast as Debbie. And then she overtook her. Alright? So we don't know when that distance is. But we know the speed. We just call it as D. The speed of Davy is very important. The distance that Davy travels over the time that Davy took to travel that distance, which is D minus 700. Over the time, she took 16.5 minutes. This is a tricky part. Alright, because after 1.5 minutes, only Valerie started running. And Valerie was running for another 15 minutes. She ran for 15 minutes, whereas Davy ran for 16.5 minutes. So speed is distance over time. You keep that aside. Whereas Valerie's speed, alright, the distance she traveled is from start. She was right there. Look at that. And she ran D meters in 15 minutes. That's all. And then you formulate the sum. Speed of Valerie. I made it so easy with the letter V there. Alright? S, speed of Valerie. S, D, speed of Davy. Valerie's speed is 1.5 times of Davy's speed. I take this formula and I put it in. And we solve it with a single unknown, Mr. D. Who are you, Mr. D? D is found. Wow. We took shortcuts. Please look at them. Beautiful shortcuts. That's where you might trip and fall. Careful, my dear. Look at it. Otherwise, did I use any calculator? No. Did I use any machine? No. Did I have anybody whispering the answers to me? No. So what did I do? I said, ho, 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 ho. You got a 2, you got a 2. Get lost. How do you get lost? Divide it. You got a number that's divisible by 3. Reduce it, divide it by 3. So that's how you got like this, d over 15. Here the 2 over 33 became 1 over 11. And then you said, your one number times 1 over 11. Your d over 15. Bring the 15 up. Bring the 11 up there. Open. When you bring the 15 up here, open. So you get 15d times 15 minus 700. You're a minus. When you bring it over, you become a plus. 11d come here. It's what's the gold sign there? The ghost. You can't see with your naked eye. But it's there. It's a plus. When you bring it over, it becomes a minus. So 15d minus 11d is 4d. So what is d? You find it out. Once you've got that, put it back into the graph. Hey, you, pop. That's the information. Alright? So Valerie traveled 2,625 meters in 15 minutes and her speed was 175 meters per minute. Oh, is that fast? I think so. Right? She's traveling, it's about 3 meters per minute. Boys, is that fast? Slow for you? Alright, she's slow. Alright. Okay, anyway, let's put it into reality. And then we want to change it to kilometers per hour. Alright? So we know this is meters per minute. Change it to kilometers, divide by 1,000. Change the minute to hour, divide it by 60. And then you got that beautiful answer. Therefore, the speed of Valerie is 10.5 kilometers per hour. Now I can say, my dear, rate of change. We close chapter and we move on to other things. Alright? But please go back to it when you need help. There are some lovely sums in there. And what's more fun is the music, Footloose, and the message behind that. Alright, we learn maths with fun. Alright, with Kumar. I'll catch up with you. Alright, see you. Goodbye. Have a good day.